2025 is in full swing and we're having some fun today. We want to talk about some things, some game announcements that we would love to see this year. Some of them are pipe dreams, some of them are realistic. Either way, this is just some stuff we like to hope and dream we would see. It's only January, so there's plenty of room for this stuff to happen, or not, but we got 10 things, so let's get started off with number 10. Something new from the Elder Scrolls 6. Bethesda released a teaser for Elder Scrolls 6, if you remember, June 10th, 2018. Yes, it's been more than 6 years since that announcement, and so far we've gotten nothing else on what the game actually is going to be. Not even a subtitle, nothing. No hints, nothing for 6 years. So now with Starfield mostly in the rearview mirror, 2025 feels like the time for Puxatawny Todd to crawl out of his hole and show his shadow and end this long winter, or whatever, however that metaphor goes. Look, it's January, we're doing Groundhog Day references, buckle up, okay? Look, we're not asking for much, just a trailer. We don't need an actual game reveal or release date yet. Take your time, make it good, don't rush it. But we would love at this point to see a new comprehensive trailer with some details. I think the main thing some people want for a new Elder Scrolls game is, well, for it to exist, obviously, but also to make it weirder, more interesting, less generic. Basically, some fans want more Morrowind and less Oblivion or Skyrim. That's why the rumors and speculation and a lot of people just want to see Hammerfell as the next province in the series. It's not a surefire thing that Elder Scrolls 6 will be set in Hammerfell, where the Red Guards live, but the distinctly Mediterranean look of the landscape shown during that teaser makes some people think it might be Hammerfell. Of course, we're talking about a 6-year-old teaser, so anything they showed there could have been meaningless. We could end up anywhere. We could return to a location, who knows? The sky is the limit. We don't really care where the game is set, we just want to know more than nothing, which is where we're at now. Now, next over at number 9, BioShock 4. We know even less about this game than the next Elder Scrolls. It has at least been confirmed. It was announced in a press release back in 2019. We knew that 2K wanted to pursue and make a new BioShock game. That press release in 2019 confirmed the game existed and that a studio named Cloud Chamber was working on it. Now, since then, we've gotten a few LinkedIn posts teasing the game's existence, and it's shown up on a few leaks and stuff like that, but that's really it. Everything else about BioShock 4 has been strictly hush-hush. No trailers, no real information about a potential setting, nothing. It's been so long since the press release that it's entirely possible that the entire thing has been canned. I mean, the original release has been pulled from 2K's website, so all you can find now are articles reporting on it. So who even knows if this game is still really being made? We think it is, but who knows? I mean, we get a chance to learn more, hopefully, in 2025. Maybe a trailer and a solid date or window for when the game is coming. We'd love to see that. That's gonna be a common refrain on this list. We don't want any lame teasers or super vague release windows. We want substantial trailers that show in-game footage with some actual solid release dates. It would be better if some of these things actually come out in 2025, but with how long everything takes in the game industry now, we're not holding our breath. As for what we'd like to see in BioShock 4, honestly, we're open to whatever they give us. Make it a new setting entirely, or head back to Rapture for one more go, whatever. As long as it's cool, we're in. And BioShock 2 proved that you don't always need Ken Levine, the series creator, to make something from this, so we've still got our hopes up somewhat. We've been hearing whispers about it for so long. Let's finally get a good look at this. Next over at number 8, we know that IO Interactive's next game is a James Bond project, but as far as concrete details go, that's pretty much it. This thing from the Hitman creators only has a working title. We don't even know what it's going to be called. I think it's pretty safe to say that the plan with this one is to stick pretty close to what IO is actually good at. Maybe it's going to be like the Hitman games or the 007 James Bond twist, which does sound like the perfect fit. While there's no gameplay footage of any kind or even really a proper trailer beyond that initial teaser they released, the CEO of IO has made a few statements on what the game will be. For one, it's going to be an original story starring a quote-unquote young James Bond for gamers, his words, which leads us to believe that this is going to be a new James Bond, not like they're dragging out Daniel Craig or Pierce Brosnan or anything for one more round. This gives them a lot of potential to do their own thing, a new creative spin on Bond. They also plan for this game to be the first in a new trilogy, so it sounds like they want to do something similar to their World of Assassination Hitman games. I expect a lot of social stealth set in large, semi-open world locations. I expect there to be a lot of sneaking, but also, hopefully, some actual action and good shootouts and cool cars and a variety of objectives. Look, basically we're looking at something like maybe the recent Indiana Jones games as a blueprint, not necessarily first person, we don't really want that, but just in terms of mission design, world structure, stuff like that. We're just spitballing, we're talking out of our ass though. Whatever it'll be, we really want to just see more. They knocked it out of the park with the recent Hitman games, and we can't wait to see what they'll be able to do with James Bond, because James Bond needs a refresh right now. Next, over at number 7, Titanfall 3. Look, for as much love as Titanfall 2 gets from enthusiasts, the game just didn't perform as well as EA wanted. It sold less than the first game, probably because they released it in the same window as Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and, bizarrely, EA's own Battlefield 1. Why would they do that? Titanfall 2 really never got a chance to thrive because of this, but a third game, which, let me be clear, has not been announced or anything, like a third game could be huge. Now, is Respawn, the developers, making a third game? Nobody knows. They've pretty much said that it wasn't happening. Then it came out that they were working on a game in the Titanfall universe, but it wasn't a straight-up sequel, and then nothing. Okay, not nothing exactly. In 2023, there was this report that EA and Respawn canceled the alleged spin-offs. Reports say that Titanfall 3 was in development, apparently, for months before it was canned and then became Apex Legends. From all that, it seems like any chance of a third game has gone up in smoke. But a recognizable IP in this industry is always going to be worth something, so for the hopeful among us, I guess the dream is still alive. Look, any kind of Titanfall 3 news in 2025 is the longest of long shots. It's a fantasy, but hey, we'd still like it to happen. We said we're making a fun list here. We'd love to see them keep it actually like the second game. You know, it needs a really good single-player campaign and a full multiplayer suite. We don't really want free-to-play Titanfall nonsense or messing with the formula to transform it into something different. We just want a good, solid follow-up to the second game. That's really it. Next, over at number 6, we have Resident Evil 9. Yes, long rumored, leaked, suggested. We know Resident Evil 9 is coming. I feel it in my bones. I have some ideas what it could potentially be, but it's all just a matter of when Capcom's actually gonna let us know. 2025 could be the year. At this point, it's been a minute since Resident Evil 4, their last big Resident Evil game, and it's been even longer since Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village. So it's time to get back to the mainline numbered games, and who knows where they're gonna go with this one. A lot of people are expecting some classic characters to return. I'd personally love to see that. There's a lot of potential to take this franchise into the next generation, from the technology to the gameplay systems, but also with all the remakes they made, they introduced a lot of new players to the classic Resident Evil characters a lot of us know and love. So where they can take that now, the sky is the limit. I hope Capcom nails it, but we just really hope they announce something soon. Next, over at number 5, let's get even crazier. Look, we know the next game from Bethesda is Elder Scrolls 6, which is still potentially years away, so Fallout 5, whatever that will be, is probably going to take even longer. I don't know about you, but that's too long to wait for a new Fallout game. There's gotta be something to hold people over and take advantage of all the hype around the Fallout TV show and stuff, and the solution, honestly, is give Obsidian another shot at the series. Let them do their own thing with a new game, or like Fallout New Vegas 2. If not in name, then at least in spirit. Yes, this is another entry from the extremely unlikely category here in this video, but we're talking about things we want to see, not necessarily things that'll happen. And look, to be realistic, Obsidian clearly has their hands full at the moment. They're releasing Avowed in less than a month, and their next game is already confirmed. They're doing The Outer Worlds 2, but both of those games are planning to come out in 2025. It should be another Fallout. It just makes sense, and we want to see it announced or teased, man. And at this point, everyone connects the dots. Microsoft Xbox owns Obsidian. They also own Bethesda. So really, they can take all these action figures and mash them together and just make a Fallout New Vegas 2. They have all the things that can make it happen. It's just whether or not the corporation wants to do it and whether or not Obsidian actually wants to creatively make it or do their own thing. Look, this is all pure pie-in-the-sky speculation, but it would be really cool to see someday. Next, over at number 4, The rumor mills have been churning like crazy over Creative Assembly, the creators of the popular Total War games. Nobody really knows for certain what their next game will be, but the three prime candidates seem to be a new Star Wars game, a World War I game, or a new Warhammer 40k game. If you've played any of their games, then these all sound like a significant departure from how the combat in these games works. Total War games have almost universally been about sending large stands of units at each other. You know, they worked for Roman and medieval settings. They've dipped their toes into the industrial warfare with games like Empire Total War, the Shogun 2 expansion, the Napoleon expansion, but never anything like World War I or even Warhammer 40k. We know that Creative Assembly is working on a new engine, which is probably being made specifically to accommodate gunfights and skirmish warfare in complex, more cover-heavy combat arenas. Or maybe they're just doing something completely different. These rumors could prove to be completely false, but, for one, we would just really love to see a new Total War 40k game. Think about it, the time is right, hype for the Warhammer 40k universe is higher than ever. A lot of new people are coming in after the success of Space Marine 2 and so many other things. And if they actually manage to make a 40k game here, how they make their games, it would be a license to print money. That World War I concept also feels like it could be real, and if they were to make it, then it could be a good opportunity to test out some ideas for an eventual 40k game. I don't know, cover, suppression mechanics, stuff like that. Look, we expect something Total War will be announced in 2025. We just don't know if it'll be 40k or something else entirely. And now down at number 3, a PlayStation handheld. Yeah, why not, man? I mean, look, in 2024, we got some rumors that PlayStation is cooking up a new handheld. So the way we look at it, 2025 would be a great year to announce it. The rumors as of right now suggest that PlayStation is working on developing a new handheld, and the handheld is apparently going to be designed to play like the equivalent of PS5 games. This is probably to compete with Nintendo Switch and their Nintendo Switch 2, and also Xbox talking about for years now that they're working on a handheld thing. Look, we already have the PlayStation Portal, and depending on the use case, some people have really enjoyed that, but a real full dedicated PlayStation handheld could be a lot of fun, especially for the PlayStation hardcore fans out there who loved the PlayStation Portable or the PlayStation Vita. This could be the next thing. It also could be a total fantasy. Who knows? But really, with the rise of portable gaming, handheld gaming, with Steam, Steam Deck, all the other PC players getting in, with the Nintendo Switch 2 on the horizon, 2025 sounds like the year. If there is a PlayStation handheld, that's when it will be announced. And honestly, we'd love to see it. Now at number 2, with Baldur's Gate 3's last major patch released, it sounds like the developers Larian are moving all their focus onto their next unannounced project. What will it be? Well, we know it's not going to be Baldur's Gate 4. Larian does not seem interested in working with Hasbro on a follow-up, so the sky's really the limit on what the hell they could be doing next. The most obvious possibility is another Divinity game. They own that series. Original Sin 2 was the first big breakout game from the studio, so it seems like the most obvious move. It's their IP. Personally, I think they are doing Divinity 3. It just feels like it makes the most sense. But who knows? They could be doing a Pathfinder project or something completely different. I mean, I didn't expect something like Baldur's Gate 3 out of these guys, so they could surprise us. No matter what it is, we would just love to see a concrete announcement in 2025. We know that they're probably only at the beginning stages of working on whatever their next thing is, but to know what it is would be good. These guys make complex games at a level that nobody else in the industry can really match. They're in a league of their own in the RPG space, and we're just hyped to see what they're cooking up next. And finally, down at number 1, Half-Life 3. Look, it's the game we've all but given up on. Half-Life 2, Episode 2, came out in 2007, 18 years ago. We've gotten a prequel with Half-Life Alyx, which was incredible, but no real follow-up on what was meant to be the real proper conclusion of the Half-Life 2 story. Now, in intervening years, we've heard a lot of people talk about Episode 3 and what it was going to be. The writer released an entire plot synopsis online. There's a lot of weird leaked information out there if you want to find it. That's all interesting enough, but what everyone really wants is an actual sequel to play. The series has been dormant for years, but in 2024, Valve started talking about it again. For one thing, they released a Half-Life 2 documentary that briefly talked about that canceled episode 3. But most importantly, the voice actor of G-Man, Mike Shapiro, put out a cryptic tweet with an embedded video where, in the voice of the G-Man, he said that there will be unexpected surprises in 2025. What else could he mean but something Half-Life related? I don't know, maybe he's talking about the state of the world? Who knows? I'd like to think he's talking about the game. Wouldn't it be amazing if they actually stuck with it and they kept calling it Half-Life 2 Episode 3? It's okay, they can call it Half-Life 3, they can call it Portal 3 for all I care. Whatever, wrap this story up. Valve, go back to making these cool games. We've been waiting for like 20 years. We want to see it. But those are 10 game announcements we want in 2025. We would love to hear from you guys in the comments what you're thinking, what you would love to see. You know, a realistic bet, but also, you know, more of a fantasy pick. Let us know what you think. I gotta go. I'm a little sick. I'm a little under the weather. Sorry if my voice sounded weird in this video, but hit us up in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.